Good morning, fourth graders. We're going to start talking about caves this week for science. I thought we'll do a few more more hands-on things that might be kind of exciting. So I want to go through the directions that what we're going to need to do first for caves. Okay, kiddos? So here we go. I'll explain it a little bit better for you. For your lesson plan, I have that your supplies that you're going to need is you will need a sheet of paper, pencil, crayons, markers, or colored pencils. I am also this video because I'm going to be reading you a section that you will be using to do this. Your directions after I have read the chapter is that you're going to describe the three main zones of a cave. You will draw a map of an imaginary cave on your sheet of paper. You're going to label the three zones of the cave, show each zone's location, and draw what the area of the cave looks like. The next step is you will write one sentence describing what the zone is like what each of those zones is like. The fourth step, draw one or two plants or animals that live in each zone. I want you to label the plants or animals and write one sentence describing how or why they live in that part of the cave. The fifth step is I want you to invent a name for the cave and write the name at the top of your drawing. When you're finished with all of that, you can submit your drawing to me through Seesaw or Remind as a photo. Okay, kiddos? I'm also going to add the whole story to a reading list on Epic if you wanted to read more about it later. Okay? We will get started with the story. All right? So we're going to read Chapter 4. Chapter 4, Life Underground. Caves support many kinds of life, but each part of a cave is home to different plants and animals. There are three main parts of a cave. The light zone is the beginning of the cave. It gets the most light. And then see here in blue, that's a label, and you're going to see that a lot of times in nonfiction books. They will label the picture so that you understand what it is. And our label here says plants can grow where light reaches into the entrance of the cave. Okay, and we do see some plants and things growing here, don't we, kiddos? And we have another label here. It says fruit bats hang from the ceiling of the Montfort Bat Cave in the Philippines. Many ferns grow here. Raccoons and bears use it for shelter. Next is the twilight zone. It is darker and cooler. Moss grows here. Salamanders eat insects that live on the cave walls. Bats also sleep in the twilight zone. Bats use echolocation. It helps them fly through the dark cave. Bats make high-pitched sounds. These sounds bounce off the hard cave walls. The sounds come back to the bat's ears. The reflected sound tells the bat how close they are to objects. And then we have a fun fact, which is another label, right, kiddos? Bats are important to other living things in caves. Their waste is food for spiders and insects. It also helps moss and fungi grow. But people don't want to get around bat waste because that has lots of different germs and things in it that can make us sick. The last part of the cave is the dark zone. There is no light. No plants are able to grow. But spiders, shrimp, fish, snails, and worms all live there. These animals are blind. They use their hearing and feelers to move around. Here's another fun fact. Bacteria found nowhere else on Earth can live in caves. Some like jelly, others like fluffy white balls. Interesting. And here is a label explaining this picture. It says glowworms live on the ceiling of the dark zone of Waitomo Caves in New Zealand. That's kind of neat, huh, kiddos? All right, so that was what our chapter 4 was. And I'm going to have you do that activity now. I also did include those, I also included the directions on what I needed you to do on the lesson plan. So you can follow those step by step there too, or you can rewind the video and watch it a couple more times if you wanted more of the information. And like I said, I'm adding this book and several others about caves to a reading list for you that I can assign you. It won't be something that you have to actually go in and do if you don't want to, but I will have a reading list on Epic about caves if you wanted to go in it and spend some more time reading about caves. That would be really cool too. All right, kiddos, thanks. I hope you're having a great week so far.